And welcome back. In today's video, I am going to be making a white dress. Now I do not have any white dresses. Nightgowns do not count. And I have this white fabric with white embroidery details all throughout it. And I think that it would just make the perfect summer dress. Now the pattern that I'm going to be using is this Vogue pattern. It is V9328. I have used this pattern before. I've made this dress like 4 times. Today I'm going to be making dress E. It is the shorter version with butterfly sleeves, and instead of having it close in the back like these dresses all do, I'm going to have it button in the front. I would like to have a dress that is easy to get in and out of by myself. Since this dress is going to be white and the fabric is mostly see-through, and also the fabric that I'm using was a curtain, I'm going to be using the lining of the curtain to line the dress. So let's get started. I'm going to be starting by laying my fabric out on my floor, laying out all of the pattern pieces, and then cutting them out. And now that everything is cut out, it is time to assemble all of the pieces together. I'm going to be starting with the bodice. Now that the outer layer fabric and the lining layer fabric are sewn together, I'm going to place them together, right sides together, pin along the top, and sew. Now the bodice is together and it is time to move on to the skirt. This is really simple. I just sew all of the pieces together until they're all sewn together. Now to hem the skirt off camera, I did a rolled hem. This fabric frays so badly, I want to make sure to encase the edges of the fabric so that it does not begin to fray. Now that the bodice and the skirt are sewn together, I am going to combine them. I'm going to sew the skirt to the bodice. So I place them right sides together, pin in place. I then move on to the sewing machine where I am going to sew them in place with a straight stitch. Alright, the dress is now mostly done. It is completely put together at this point. The only thing left to do is to add buttons and buttonholes. Now using my tailor's chalk, I went ahead and put all of the dots for all of the buttons that I'm going to need, which is going to be 34 buttons, and that doesn't even go all the way down. And then for the buttonholes, and I figured this out last night, I figured out how to use my buttonhole foot for my sewing machine. Seems like a thing I probably should have learned how to do a long time ago, but regardless. And then, after doing that, the only way that I can figure out how to get the buttonholes to be uniform was to do like a little swatch. So obviously I had a much bigger piece of fabric. I did the buttonhole, and then I marked on the fabric where I wanted the next hole to begin. So basically this is what I have done. And then in order, I'm just going to keep marking all the way down the buttonholes. And when making the buttonholes with the buttonhole foot, I found it confusing because it goes backwards and then forward. It took a bit of figuring. Probably it took 30 minutes to an hour to figure out how to properly do the buttonhole and then how to figure out how to space it. This was what I figured out how to do. Now, something that I just realized that I didn't do was add pockets. Have the pockets cut out. So I guess whenever I'm done figuring the buttonhole and the buttons, what I'm going to do is put the dress on, figure out the placement on the side of the skirts, seam rip, add my pockets, sew it back up. Well, I have banana bread in the oven, so let's go ahead and get this figured out and hopefully done before my banana bread is done, because I really want some banana bread. Now that all of my buttonholes are sewn in place, it is time to attach the buttons. Now, it would turn out that this entire time, my sewing machine has had the option to sew the buttons on. And as my husband says, I really have got to learn how to use the things that I have. I have never read the manual for my sewing machine. I did, however, find quite a few videos and the online manual for my machine that explained how to do the buttons. The overall concept is first attach the button foot, lower my feed dogs on the bottom of the machine, and measure my buttons. And the part of the button that I am measuring is the holes inside of the buttons. Now, I need to make sure that the needle is lined up with the holes of the buttons so that I don't break a needle. So I do this very slowly by hand first, and once the needle is lined up with the holes in the buttons, I can then use my foot and sew it quickly. Now I have sewn 34 buttonholes and 34 buttons onto this dress, and I've got to say, I really should have learned how to do this a long time ago, because it was much quicker. Instead of spending, estimate, 5 minutes per button hand sewing the buttons onto a garment, this took like 5 to 10 seconds to do per button, so it saved me a lot of time. And now the dress is done and I am ready for the reveal. And now the dress is done, and I do like how it came out. It fits me very well throughout. The only place it doesn't fit very well is right here in the front, just right here where it would close in the top. And I'm assuming that would be because I am flat-chested, but that really is no big deal. The sleeves are cute. They do poof a little, like in a weird way, I suppose. I don't have any tops or clothing at all that has sleeves like this, but as a whole, I really do like it. If I were to rate this dress, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Now, the buttons and buttonholes are a little messy, but I mean, there are 34 or 35 of them, which is a lot. I really like the embroidery on the fabric that I have chosen. I do not have any other white dresses, and nightgowns do not count. I really do think this is the perfect summer dress, especially here in South Carolina, where even though it is cloudy and should be raining by now but hasn't started yet, it's still 95 degrees. When the sun is blazing, we've already reached 100 degrees and it's only July, the beginning of July. I really don't have anything else to say. The dress went well. I like how it turned out. There is a wasp in front of my feet and I do not like that. I am like terrified of wasps. They'll get you. I gotta say though, my banana plants, man, are they looking great. Yeah, they are huge. Perfect placement right here in front of the window, gotta say. Well, that would be all that I have for today's video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. If you're not already, consider subscribing. I post every Wednesday. And I make a wide variety of different things that tickle my fancy. And if they tickle your fancy and you made it all the way to the end of this video, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.